Our, we are in virtual temple of Gachibowli Satsang on the online calls, Bhagavatams, Saturday and Sunday calls. So whenever I get the opportunity, I sing these two songs before I begin the class. I feel that it's a virtual temple. As Prabhupada given instructions to all the temples, it has to run right after darshan, after setting up the deities with nice dress for that particular day, and singing this darshan arati, sung by Her Grace Yamuna Mataji. So let me quickly sing and Guru Vandanam, and we'll start discussion. Thank you again for all the devotees for joining. Let me see. Santosh Aditya Prabhu, thank you for joining. Madhusudan Prabhu, Deepa Mataji, Lavanya. Swati Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. We'll start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam.
No, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Adi Purusha Tamaha Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusha Tamaha Bhajami Reno Panantamaravindayataksham Parhavatam Samastitam Rudasundarangam Gandharvakoti-kamaniya Vishesha-shubham Govindam Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami Govindam Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami Anganiyasya Sakale Driyabhrimante Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Vedanti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jvala Vigrahasya Govinda Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami Govinda Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami Govinda Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami Govindam Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami. Shri Brahma Satam prayers ki jai. Supreme Personality of God Shri Govinda ki jai. Lord Brahma ki jai. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. I worship Govinda, that primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of the transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. Specifically chosen, Srila Prabhupada, these particular verses. Now, Krishna is in full. Krishna is so much beautiful personality, and he can do anything. This verse talks about he can do anything. He can eat with his eyes. He can do anything. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyway, so now let us continue. Srila Prabhupada Guru Vandanam. This was the song written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, specifically chosen this particular first 4 verses. Actually, this song is 8 verses, 8 or 10 stanzas there. Prabhupada has chosen this first 4 stanzas of this song. Shri Guru Vandanam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Sri Guru Charana Padma केवल भाग्यते सद्मा बंधो मोहि सावधान माते बंधो मोहि सावधान माते रहरा प्रसादे भाई ए भवतो दिया जय कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जा होइते कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जाहिते गुरुमुखा पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते कोरिया ऐक्या आरना कोरी हो माने आशा आरना कोरी हो माने आशा श्री गुरु चराने रति ऐसे मुत्तमा गति श्री गुरु चराने रति ऐसे उत्तमा गति जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा आशा जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा आशा चकुदान दिलो जय जन्य जन्य प्रभु से चकुदान दिलो जय जन्य जन्य प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित हो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित हो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जाते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरित हो वेद गाय जहाँ रचरित हो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमाजे नारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमाजे नारा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना आहा प्रभु कोरो दया देह मोरे पद छाया प्रभु कोरो दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा प्रभु कोरो दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा प्रभु कोरो दया देह मोरे पद छाया एबे जास घोषक त्रिभुवाना एबे जास घोषक त्रिभुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना श्रीला गुरुदेव लोइलो चराना श्रीला गुरुदेव लोइलो चराना जया प्रभुपादा 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 श्रीला प्रभुपादा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा श्रीला गुरुदेवा इत्ता गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल इत्ता गौरा हरि बोल इत्ता गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल इत्ता गौरा हरि बोल जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय श्री गुरु वंदनम की जय let us read translation let us read I will ask the names Santosh Aditya Prabhu Hare Krishna can you please read first one okay Lavanya please read first one
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
yes
The
Hare
lotus,
Krishna
the lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna.
Shilpa Mataji Deepa Mataji
Yes, Prabhuji. 1 second. Hare Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. Hare
thank you
Krishna.
Mother Shweta Mataji okay Hare Krishna Madhavi Mataji
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
no please read the third one
Yeah. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character.
thank you Mataji Madhusudan Prabhu
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Loknath Goswami, O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for reading translation. With this mode, this is the parampara, whatever right now, whatever today's class is a completely, and everything goes to Guru Parampara actually, and the Siksha Gurus, and ultimately founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He has nicely written these purports, and we don't need to add anything actually. We just have to present as it is, whatever is written in the purports. So Srila Prabhupada always, one time he was discussing among his disciples, you are all sent by my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. I am just instrument in the hand of my Guru Maharaj. I'm nothing. So everything, whatever he is doing, the credit goes to his Guru Maharaj. So that is the mood. So my Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and various Siksha Gurus inspired me, and I always remember. And right now I am associated with this, our Gachibowli Satsang, led by Lilananda Prabhu and Anu Mataji. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji and Mataji. I'm just presenting as it is. I'm not going to add anything, just adding some further readings from within our parampara only. Anything goes wrong anywhere, please correct me, and I'm open to learn. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we'll start. Let me share this one. This also, Srila Prabhupada, whenever begin any class, Jaya Radha Madhava. This is a culture he has given. We just have to follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara. And this is a song written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, from the book Gitavali. Everything is there actually. We meditate upon the our Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya. We are worshippers of Radha and Krishna. Two forms, not only is Krishna. They ultimately more into Radharani's mood. So he has chosen this one also, before giving the class. So I'm gonna sing. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe Jaya Radha, Kunja Bihari, Radha, Kunja Bihari, Radhe Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Shila Guru Deva. Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarane Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let us recite this particular one verse, then let us discuss remaining verses. So we are at Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4. The Hamsaguyya prayers offered to the Lord by Prajapati Daksha. Let me share. Yeah, it's been 3 to 4, close to 4 years of this call continuously running, and now we are at 4th chapter of 6th canto. 6th canto talks about prescribed duties for mankind. So till now we have done with the Ajamila story, the first 3 chapters of 6th canto, the history of the life of Ajamila delivered by the Vishnudutas, and chapter 3, Yamaraja instructs his messengers. Chapter 4 talks about the Hamsaguyya prayers offered to the Lord by Prajapati Daksha. Very interesting pastime here. Yesterday, Somatari concluded until 18th verse. So let us quickly see one-liner statements from this our Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's one-liner statements of the each verse. Vidyapita slide I have. Let us quickly read and then we'll start into the 19th verse onwards. Okay, so I'm gonna share that PDF. 1 minute. Yes, this was the session he has given during the COVID actually. Bhagavata Pravaha. Somebody let me put me Muralidhar Prabhu. Muralidhar Prabhu, Brahmana Marmate, thank you for joining. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So,
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So we all know during the COVID 2020-21 time frame, he has given close to 90 plus lectures, I think, Bhagavata Pravaha, in a snippets of each chapters, various pastimes. This is the one of the slides. I got it from the Vidyapita team. So 6.4 Amsaguhya prayers. So various sections here mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 sections. The 1 to 15, those verses talks about Soma pacifies Prachetas and offers Marisha. One Mataji to marry these Prachetas. 16 to 22, Daksha's birth and initial activities. And 23 to 34, Hamsa Guhya prayers by Daksha. 35 to 54, there are 54 verses in this chapter. The Lord's instructions to Daksha. So next Saturday, another speaker is going to speak from, some of the verses from here, 35 to 54 in between. So let us see until 8:45, before 9, I'll definitely close, whatever. Let us read some of the important points from Srila Prabhupada purports. So another thing is, basically, Bhagavatam is all about conversation between different personalities. Okay. So Bhagavatam talks about, it's a one-to-one is there. One-to-one is there. One-to-many is also there, the conversation. It starts with one-to-many. How many of you remember that? One-to-many conversation? Who has spoken Bhagavatam in the first place? To whom? Anybody say? First, of how Bhagavatam conversation started?
Vyasa Bhagavan and Narad Maharshi, Prabhuji, between them.
అంతకంటే ముందు ఉంటుంది మాతది వేరే కన్వర్సేషన్. యాక్చువల్గా వి ఆల్ హర్డ్ దిస్ వన్, రైట్? నైమిషారణ్య సేజెస్, Suta Goswami sitting and describing.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj later conversation. So basically, let me share. So we will be better to understand from this another PDF. This also from Vidyapita team only. So these are the conversations between Srimad Bhagavatam, Suta Goswami and Shaunakadi rishis, that Naimisharan is headed by Shaunakadi rishi, those 60,000 plus some sages sitting and hearing from Suta Goswami. Okay, Suta Goswami, who is Suta Goswami? In the assembly of Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, he heard this Bhagavatam. So, and this one, the conversation that we are talking about in this chapter is the third layer, the layer of the discussions between, if you see here, 6.4, Daksha and Lord. Who is discussing? Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, they were discussing about the these pastimes, Daksha and Supreme Lord. And ultimately, Suta Goswami is talking and sharing these pastimes to 60,000, those Naimisharanya sages. That is the starting point. So another thing, so there is a Daksha pastime to various time frames. His life happened actually in the beginning, before, these are another Bhagavatam family tree, it's called, how these personalities uh, appeared, and how this Bhagavatam structured, so nice. So another Bhagavatam family tree. So let us see. So we all know that, the pastimes, Lord Shiva cursed and, and given the goat body to the Daksha because of insult. We all know that pastime we have gone through in previous sessions. So that Daksha reappeared here in this, because, that's a curse. He wanted to appear again. That is another pastime there. So basically, originally the Daksha appeared here through in this creation, like, Lord Krishna, through the Lord Brahma, Swayambhuva Manu, through and Prasuti, the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, husband Daksha, and he has this lineage. The Daksha is lineage of this one. Prasuti, so husband is Daksha Prajapati. That's why it's called Daksha Prajapati. So, so that is in the previous cantos we see this pastime. I think fourth canto, yes. So here again he appears. The Prachetas. Let us understand from this pastime. So, so in the beginning of first 18 verses, what exactly yesterday Mataji was discussed. So let us read. Let us quickly read. I want to ask some names, devotees. Please let us be attentive. Whatever time you are here, just be attentive and try to read and understand. Okay. So 1, 2, 2. I will. Anyone likes to read? I'm giving to you, devotees. Anybody likes to read? This is
Great, Prabhuji.
Soma pacifies Prachetas and offers Marisha. So read Mataji. These are the verses only.
Okay.
One-liner statements.
One and first two. Parikshit inquires about Visarga. 3. Sukadev Goswami praised Parikshit's inquiry. 4. Prachetas emerged from water. Saw trees covered the earth. 5. To burn the trees, angry Prachetas emerged fire from mouths. 6. Soma felt sympathy on trees burning to appease Prachetas' anger. Soma speaks.
Continue with this, 15, this section. You continue, Mataji.
Okay, sir. Okay, Prabhuji. 7. Your duty, prosperity, and protection of citizens. 8. Lord created them. Trees and vegetables are eatables for living entities. 9. Nature arranged different foods for different living entities. 10. Your subjects need trees and herbs. 11. Follow predecessors, protect subjects, and control anger. 12. King protects his subjects, including trees. Prabhuji, verse read.
Okay, verse recitation is there. We will discuss there in the
13.
Veda.
See all beings as the Lord's abode. 14. Inquires about self-realization and subdues his anger. transcendence modes. 15. Let whatever trees remain be happy, accept Marisha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Prabhupada, in the beginning of this chapter, he has given a description, entire chapter story. So I am gonna share here. You can see and answer these questions. Okay, who is Soma? Who is Marisha? Let us see. Let us have some discussion from Veda base. Let me share here. Okay, so whenever he start writing any chapter, he gives nice description of what exactly is in there in that particular chapter. So this chapter, Hamsabhya prayers offered to the Lord Prajapati Daksha. So yesterday we already read this one. So who is Soma? I'm gonna ask, who is Soma actually? Ever Soma?
The caretaker of the god of the trees, Prabhuji.
Mataji?
Caretaker of the trees, Prabhuji, trees, plants.
Predominating deity of the moon. This is the thing. My dear King Parikshit, that's the text 6 talks about. My dear King Parikshit, when Soma, Parikshit and Mala Sukadeva Goswami is discussing with Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so when Soma, the king of the trees and predominating deity of the moon. So how can we understand is a king of the trees? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, right, vegetation, how vegetation takes place. Vegetation takes place through moonshine. And we require sunlight and we require moon also. That night, the juice of the vegetables given by moon planet, the moonshine, right? That's where if we understand that context, so he is the king of the trees and predominating deity of the moon. Gama Vishwacha Bhutanam, Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse is there. The vegetation also come from of course, everything is Supreme Personality of God creation only, but his agent, through his agency, it's working. We have to understand, okay? So, yeah, correct. Then, Marisha, who is Marisha? I will search in, it's okay. I also not too much, memory kind of person. Who is Marisha? Read.
The daughter of the trees. Yeah.
Daughter of the trees. Okay. So in the first place, we all know this story, Prachetas, who is the father of Prachetas? Haribol devotees? Who is the father of Prachetas? Prachetas father ever?
Prachina Barhi. Yeah.
Prachina Barhi, right? So Prachina Barhi, he has 10 sons called Prachetas. They performed a severe austerity more than 10,000 plus years. And we know that Rudragita happened to Rudragita, the Lord Shiva appeared by performing these, severe austerities. Lord Shiva is very much pleased. And he wanted to share the ultimate knowledge, the ultimate personality, who exactly the personality of the meditation that they have to do. So after performing severe tapasya, Lord Shiva appeared and helped them to meditate. And that's where he has given the Rudra Gita. Under the water, they perform severe tapasya, and after completion of their severe tapasya, they have seen this, because it's a completely dry. The material nature is completely dry. Trees grown up, no living entities there. It's a kind of dry environment, no moving, nothing, anything. It's a completely, uh, uh, it's just filled with trees. And what happens to Prachina Barhi? Prachina Barhi also, he got the instruction from Narada Muni to perform tapasya, because this is not the right way to rule the country. This is not the right way. You have to do, and for your purification, you have to do tapasya. So he also left the country. So who is going to take care now? So now no creation, nothing is going on here. So in that situation, now Soma, the moon god, helped Prachetas to continue progenation. This entire chapter, basically procreation, it has to come, the living entities, Swayambhu, Manu, through these, how this procreation has to taken place. But they also perform tapasya. His father also performed tapasya for his purification, and there is no material creation progression going on. So in that context, this pastime is described. So now Marisha, who is Marisha? The daughter of who? Whose daughter? Hare Krishna.
Soma Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes. So let me quickly share this one. Okay. In the first few verses, this first 15 verses, Hare Krishna. One second, Prabhu. Sapan Prabhu, thank you for joining. I'm just muting. Okay. So first 15 verses. Soma pacifies Prachetas and offers Marisha. He has to continue. Yes, Prachetas, you are done with 10,000 years, satisfied, everything is good. Okay, now what happens to this creation? What happens to the progenation? What happens to procreation? Everything, when they come out of this from the the tapasya, they have seen everything dry, filled with trees, bushes, like just assume that scene. Nothing. So right. So there is two things, Sarga, Visarga. Why Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know here? Because he already knows some points, some pastimes in previous cantos. How the Supreme Personality of Godhead takes Virat Rupa, different forms, how this creation works, and how the progenation works, Swayambhu Manu. We have seen that one in previous cantos. So, and he got some, Sukadeva Goswami is given some break and explain another pastimes to enrich and enlighten Parikshit Maharaj to more emphasis on the bhakti creation, of course there, but his interest is to understand another part. How I wanted to continue. I wanted to understand how this progenation takes place and how are the living entities coming into play, to which whom. So he wanted to understand. That's called Visarga, right? So Parikshit Maharaj again inquired about the Visarga. Sukadeva Goswami praised Parikshit's inquiry again. Yes, I have given a pause there. So okay, you are asking, you still remember that one. Okay, let me continue. Let me explain how this progenation or how this procreation taken place. And Prachetas emerged from water. That means they came. Saw trees covered with earth. That's where we didn't see anything. Just completely dry environment, filled with trees and etc. To burn then by looking at sea, they performed nice tapasya. They got blessings from Lord Shiva, and they understood. And after the meditation, and then when they were thinking that maybe it has to be nice environment, but this is all leelas, pastimes of Supreme Lord. They got angry by looking at these bushes and trees and etc. It's a dry. They feel that they got angry. They feel that to burn the trees angry, Pracheta emerged fire from mouths. They're all mystic. They yogis actually. They can do. They can. What is that? They got siddhis also. Emerged fire from mouths. Soma felt sympathy on trees burning because he heading right. Soma head of these trees. They got this anger. Now I need to help them. I need to help them. Prachetas. Soma felt sympathy on trees burning to appease Prachetas' anger. Soma speaks. This is not good way. You are all devotees of Supreme Lord and you got the angry. That is natural. As soon as you come from this severe tapasya and you are seeing this dry environment. Now Soma is helping. No. Your duty, prosperity and protection of the citizens. So your duty, reminding the duty of this Prachetas. Your duty is to protect because they are the king's sons. Prachinabar is a great king. He has to rule. They have to rule the country, right? Lord created them. Trees, vegetables are eatable for living entities. See, every living entity, chara, achara. Chara, achara created by whom actually? Krishna only, right? Sarvasya cha aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. Prabhupada writes, aham sarvasya. Sarvasya means spiritual and material worlds. When we talk about material world, it contains everything, right? Living entities, non-living entities like trees. Trees also living entity, but it's not moving. But he's everything. Krishna has created. But here, reminding, no. These are all created by Supreme Lord. Okay, so no, you don't need to show anger. And these are all eatable for living entities. Various trees, various plants, trees giving fruits, some plants giving flowers. Everything is utilized, in the service of the Lord. Of course, some trees also mode of course, in trees also there are three modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Some trees won't give anything, but at least it gives some shade, right? Yeah, it depends. I mean, the trees also category in those set of three modes. So nature arranged different foods for different living entities. Your subjects need trees and herbs. Ayurvedam, when we talk about Ayurvedam come from where? Plants and herbs from these trees only, right? Vanamulikalu antam kada. So that is coming from these plants and trees only. Follow predecessors, protect subjects, and control anger. King protects his subjects, including trees. Like this verse is there. Tokanam pitarau bandhu drusha pakshma striya pati. Pati prajanam bhikshunam grihe ajnanam buddhashrut. That means that the king has to protect his subjects, including trees. So, okay. See all beings as the Lord's abode. One has to develop that consciousness that, everything is part and parcel of Supreme Lord, whether moving entities, non-moving entities. We say this one, right? అణువులో భగవంతుడు ఉన్నాడు అంటారు కదా. అణువు అనేది సైంటిఫిక్, బట్ అణువులో భగవంతుడు is there. Every particles of in his creation, he is there. Inquires about self-realization, subdues his anger, transcends moods. One may get the doubt, after performing severe tapasya, why they got anger. It's a will of the Lord, unless they get the anger, how this pastime is going to take place. It's a will of the Lord only. If you see Parikshit Maharaj's life also, he's a great king. He's delivered, is protected by Supreme Lord, but still, how he put the snake, that pastime. Who is that personality? I forgot actually. Lavanya, help me here. What are those personality? Parikshit Maharaj, right? Shamik Rishi.
Shamika Rishi.
Shamik Rishi. Shringi, right? Shringi put.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So how? It's a will of the Lord. He wanted to give some more teachings, by which we can learn something. So this is the inquires about self-realization, subdues his anger and transcend modes. Again, through Krishna giving instructions through Somanav, moon god, to Prachetas again to create, and you need to do as a emperor. You need to help. You need to protect the subjects, and you need to continue. The lineage. That's the thing. So here, let whatever trees remain be happy. Accept Marisha. It's a beautiful lady in the form. We'll read 15th one, so that we can understand. There is no need to burn these poor trees any longer. Let whatever trees still remain be happy. I'm reading from the Veda base. Indeed, you should also be happy. Now here is a beautiful, well-qualified girl named Marisha, who was raised by the trees as their daughter. Trees only raised a personality called Marisha. You may accept this beautiful girl as your wife and continue progenation. So that is what the section completes. Now Sukadeva Goswami continued. So that's text 16. Okay, text 16, what is there here? Text 16 to 22. Yesterday Mata covered 16, 17 and 18. So let us see. 16, Prachetas marry Marisha after being pacified by Soma. 17, Prachetas begot Daksha from Marisha. So again, that Daksha were cursed by Lord Shiva, the goat face, he took birth here again. Continue. Um, helping in progenation actually, it's a Krishna's intervention is there. Hare Krishna, Santosh Hasbro, you want to share anything? Yeah. So it's a Krishna's intervention through these personalities. Soma instructed to Parchetas to marry Marisha, the raised by the trees, and he begot a children. He begot child, only one children. 10 Prachetas married to Marisha, and they got Daksha. So Daksha creates, now here from 18 onwards, we see the continuation of the procreation through Daksha is now going on. So Daksha creates different types of jivas through semen and mind. So 19 onwards we'll read. 19th one, let us repeat. Is Bhagavatam. So this is the just yesterday's class from Mataji. So I'm continued. So 19 onwards, let us see from Veda base. Okay, some Prabhupada purport, some points we can read and understand, and we will refer this guide also. Okay, so now here it's chapter 4, text 19, right? Control F 19. Please repeat after me, devotees. Okay. Manasaiva srijat purvam. Manasaiva srijat purvam. Please repeat.
Manasaiva
Manasaiva
srijat
sujat
purvam
Prajapatir imam praja.
prajapatir imam
praja
praja
Devasura manushadin.
devasura manushadin
Nabhasthala jalaukasha.
nabhastala
జలౌకష
jalaukasha.
ఒకటే ఈ ఒక్క వర్స్ మనం పూర్తి చేద్దాము ఏంటంటే విత్ సినానిమ్స్ అండ్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్. ప్లీజ్ రిపీట్ ఆఫ్టర్ మీ. మనస బై ది మైండ్.
Manasa by the mind.
Eva indeed.
Eva
Indeed.
Asarjat created.
Asarjat
created
created.
Purvam in the beginning.
పూర్వం
Beginning.
Prajapatihi the Prajapati Daksha.
ప్రజాపతి ప్రజాపతి దక్ష
Imaha these.
These
Praja living entities.
ప్రజా
living entities.
Deva demigods.
Deva
demigods.
demigods.
Asura the demons.
Asura the demons.
Manushadin another living entities headed by the human beings.
Manushadi
Manushadin another entity the living
headed
beings.
by the human beings.
Nabaha in the skies.
Nabaha in the skies.
Thala on the land.
Thala on the land.
Thala.
Jala are within the water.
Jala or within the water.
Okashaha who have their abodes.
Kashaha
who
who
have their
has
abodes.
their abodes.
Thank you very much. So this doesn't have any purport, directly translated. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. With his mind, Prajapati Daksha first created all kinds of demigods, demons, human beings, birds, beasts, aquatics, and so on. He started Malay procreation, different species coming through, through with his mind. They're all, we see. Now let us continue direct translations. Let me read. When Prajapati Daksha saw that he was not properly generating all kinds of living entities, he approached a mountain near the Vindhya mountain range, and there he executed very difficult austerities. He continued. Why again took that this path again? Difficult austerity. Why he is performing? Because he was not. Prajapati Daksha saw that he was not properly generating all kinds of living entities. He went to that Vindhya mountain and again started tapasya. So here, let us continue. So what near the mountain, Near that mountain was a very holy place named Agamarshana. There, Prajapati Daksha executed ritualistic ceremonies and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari by engaging in great austerities to please him. Text 22, translation. And this one, Prabhupada given some one sentence here. My dear king, I shall fully explain to you the Hamsa Guhya prayers, which were offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Daksha. ఇది ఎవరు చెప్తున్నారు ఇది? My dear king. Anybody చెప్పండి? Who is telling to whom this particular verse? See, the loops of conversation, భాగవతం మధ్యలో సడన్ గా సుఖదేవ గోస్వామి అపేర్ అవుతాడు, సడన్ గా పరీక్షిత్ మహారాజ్ కూడా వస్తాడు. డౌట్స్ మధ్యలో మనము ఏదైనా డిస్కషన్, when we have any discussion, when we have doubt, immediately we say, right, I mean, no, I'm not getting, అట్లా సేమ్ కన్వర్జేషన్. మై డియర్ కింగ్ అని ఎవరిని అంటున్నాడు ఇక్కడ? ఎవరు చెప్తున్నారు ఇది?
Sukadeva as king.
Yeah, that is a conversation. Sukadeva Goswami is explaining this pastime, Lord and Daksha's pastime to Parikshit Maharaj. My dear king, Parikshit Maharaj, king means Parikshit Maharaj. I shall fully explain to you the Hamsa Guhya prayers which were offered to the Supreme Personality of God by Daksha, and I shall explain how the Lord was pleased with him for these prayers. So, after performing again severe tapasya, what happens when they got the benediction, they got the darshan of Supreme Lord, and by looking at the darshan of the Supreme Lord, they will glorify Supreme Lord, right? So that's though the glorification from the mouth of Daksha is called Amsaguya prayers. So here we will see. So purport, it is to be understood, Prabhupada what is saying, it is to be understood that the Hamsaguhya prayers were not composed, okay, but were existing in the Vedic literature. Maybe he is reminding those verses and repeating. It is to be understood that the Hamsaguhya prayers were not composed by Daksha, but were existing in the Vedic literature. Okay, we will continue. So, okay, this one purport is there. We will read purport. Prajapati Daksha said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the illusory energy and the physical categories it produces. He possesses the potency for unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower, and he is the controller of the living entities and the illusory energy. The conditioned souls who have accepted this material manifestation as everything cannot see him, for he is above the evidence of experimental knowledge. Right? He is above the evidence of the experimental knowledge. Self-evident and self-sufficient, is not caused by any superior cause. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Purport, anybody likes to read, devotees? Please.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mahesh Prabhu ki jai. Read, Prabhu. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, Prabhu. The purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The transcendental position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is explained here with, he is not perceivable by the conditioned souls who are accustomed to material vision and cannot understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead exists in his abode, which is beyond that vision. Even if a materialistic person could count all the atoms in the universe, he would still be unable to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita 534, పంథాస్తు కోటి శతవత్సర సంప్రగామ్యో వాయుర్ అధాపి మనసో ముని పుంగవానాం సోపి అస్తి యత్ ప్రపాద సిమ్ని అవిచింత్య తత్వే గోవిందం ఆది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. The conditioned souls may try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead for many billions of years through their mental speculative processes, traveling at the speed of mind or the wind, but still the absolute truth will remain inconceivable to them because a materialistic person cannot measure the length and breadth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's unlimited existence. If the absolute truth is beyond measurement, one may ask, how can one realize him? The answer is given here by the word Swayambhuve. One may understand him or not, but nevertheless he is existing in his own spiritual potency. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. So this is a beautiful prayer from Brahma Samhita, Prabhupada quoted here. Is not conceivable. Prabhupada used here. remain inconceivable. With the mind speed also or wind speed also, we try to understand Supreme Lord because of his unlimited potent personality. Inconceivable because our mind is limited. How long we can think, how far we can go forward with our thoughts. So okay, so, but if the absolute truth is beyond measurement, one may ask, how can one realize him? Right? How can we possess the unlimited supreme personality of Godhead? How can? The answer is given here by the word Swayam Bhuve. So, Nivritta Manaya Dadhe Swayam Bhuve. What is saying? Prajapati. So, lastly, uh, see, the conditioned souls we have accepted this material manifestation as everything cannot see him. For he is above the evidence of experimental knowledge, self-evidence, is not caused by any superior cause. Swayam Bhuva. He himself. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him. What Prabhupada is written here? Swayam Bhuve, unto the Supreme Lord, who is manifest with no cause. That means his appearance he is there always, right? As a supreme personality of Godhead, he doesn't have any birth and is always existing. He himself is always existing. He is unlimited. Swayam Bhuve. So Prabhupada translated unto the Supreme Lord, who is manifest with no cause. So the Prabhupada also here, the answer is given here by the word Swayambhuve. One may understand him or not, but nevertheless he is existing in his own spiritual potency. That's it. Text 24, translation. Anybody please read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Praveen Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Please read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Translation. As the sense objects, as the sense objectives, form, taste, touch, smell, and sound cannot understand how the senses perceives them. So the conditional souls, although residing in his body along with the super soul, cannot understand how the supreme spiritual person, the master of the material creation, directs his senses. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the supreme person who is the supreme controller. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Purport, the devotee, help here. Sapam Prabhu, let me call. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Read this purport.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a second.
So these are all, again, these are all prayers recited by Daksha, and these are the found in Vedic text. Prabhupada has written, not originally composed by him, but it is already there in the Vedic text. I mean, it's the same, right? I mean, we feel in Rudra Gita also we see explaining about the Supreme Personality of Form, how he looks like, how he is merciful, what to do in order to possess him, or in order to get the mercy of Supreme Lord. So these are the prayers. You see. Continue, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, నేను బయటున్నాను ఇది స్క్రీన్ డిస్ప్లే అవ్వట్లేదు వచ్చింది the individual soul and the supreme soul together within the body. This is confirmed in the Upanishads by the analogy that two friendly birds live in one tree. One bird eating the fruit of the tree and the other simply witnessing and directing. Although the individual living being who is compared to the bird that is eating is sitting with his friend, the supreme soul, the individual living being cannot see him. Actually, the super soul is directing the workings of his senses in the enjoyment of sense objects. But as these sense objects cannot see the senses, the conditioned soul cannot see the directing soul. The conditioned soul has desires. The supreme soul fulfills them. But the conditioned soul is unable to see the supreme soul. Thus, Prajapati Daksha offers his obeisances to the supreme soul, the super soul, even though unable to see him. Another example is that although ordinary citizens work under the direction of the government, they cannot understand how they are being governed or what the government is. In this regard, Madhvacharya quotes the following verse from Skanda Purana. yata rajna priyatvam tu prityavedena chatmanaha tata jivo na yat sankyam veti tasmai namostute. As the various servants in the different departments of big establishments cannot see the supreme managing director under whom they are working, the conditioned souls cannot see the supreme friend sitting within their bodies. Let us therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the supreme who is invisible to our material eyes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada quoted from verse from Skanda Purana. So big departments are there, okay, and the supreme managing director under whom they are working. The conditions cannot see the supreme friend sitting within their bodies, or we are not able to see the supreme personality of Godhead in the form of super soul right now in all the bodies, in our body especially. We cannot experience, we cannot see, but he is there inside in our bodies, right? So that is what here. Um, Daksha is glorifying Supreme Lord. All the sense objects, form, taste, touch, smell, sound, cannot understand how the senses perceive them. So the conditioned soul, although residing in his body along with the super soul, cannot understand how the supreme spiritual person, the master of the material creation, directly senses. Let me offer my respect obeisance unto that supreme person who is the supreme controller. And we all know, many times we read, understand, two birds sitting in one tree. One bird is always watching, the another bird is always eating. The eating bird is our conditioned soul, the watching bird is the super soul. And super soul is waiting actually when this eating bird turns towards to me. That is analogy. One bird eating the fruit of the tree, the another was simply witnessing and directing. Although the individual living being who is compared to the bird that is eating is sitting with his friend, the supreme soul. The individual being cannot see him. Actually, the super soul is directing the workings of his sense enjoyments. Behind the scenes, unless will of the supreme Lord, unless will of the super soul, you know, of course, mind is there, but sanctions, right? If a living entity wanted to enjoy, he provides this body. Through this body, that enjoying that whatever desires. How we got this body? First of all, because of the various desires. Because of the various desires, Krishna has given this body. Different species we have, different bodies, different dresses, according to the person's the living entity's desires to fulfill actually the fulfiller. Who is the fulfiller? The supreme Lord is the fulfiller. So that is he is addressing. You are the supreme controller, and you are the supreme person, and situated in all the bodies. That's where Daksha is uh, glorifying. And Prabhupada, when he writes in his purports, he pointed out, where exactly said any connection point, any connected verse is there. He got it from Skanda Purana, that big establishments are there, cannot see the supreme managing director. No, a small employee, he doesn't have any interaction with that supreme managing director, right? He has to direct reports, whoever that manager or whatever. That is where his communication. That is an analogy here. Okay, the conditioned souls cannot see the supreme friend sitting within their bodies. Let us therefore our respectful obeisance unto the supreme, who is invisible to our material eyes. It can be visible through the process of chanting and hearing. Krishna is going to reveal, but through right now, it's a covered. There is a beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Two processes helps us to reawaken the dormant love for Krishna. Two processes. One is Shravanam and Kirtanam. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kavunai Shravanadi Sunichaiva Karaye Udai. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kavunai. We are all having the love for Krishna is always there, but it is dormant, a sleepy state. Now it has to awaken. Awaken through how? How can we awaken that sleeping state of this consciousness? Through the hearing and chanting. That is the method. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. That is also instruction. We know that from Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. And how to engage our senses. Given an exemplary life of Ambarisha Maharaja. Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayo. So that way we will be able to see Right now it is invisible, but through the process of devotional service, we can understand and experience super soul, and we can exchange our conversation between, super soul also over a period of time when we advance a stage. Right now, we don't have that access, but Guru has given a light, how to do that, how to experience that, communication between Lord and, living entity. Another verse, text 25. I'm not reading slokas because time also we have constraint. Anybody please read. Ansini, you want to read this, Nana?
Hare Krishna.
Unna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Continue.
Translation. Because they are only matter, the body, the life airs, the external and internal senses, the five gross elements, and the subtle sense objects, form, taste, smell, sound, and touch, cannot know their own nature and nature of the other senses or the nature of the controllers. But the living being, because of his spiritual nature, can know his body, the life airs, the senses, the elements, and the sense objects. And he can also know the three qualities that form their roots. Nevertheless, although the living being is completely aware of them, he is unable to see the supreme being, who is omniscient, omniscient, and unlimited. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Yes. Undara.
Only.
Read this one. Hare Krishna. Continue with this. Yeah. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Read the purport.
Material scientists can make all analytical study of the physical elements, the body, the sense objects, and even the air that controls the vital force. But still, they cannot understand that above all these, in the real spirit soul, in other words, the living entity, because of his being a spirit soul, can understand all the material objects, or when self realized, he can understand the Paramatma upon whom yogis meditate. Nevertheless, the living being, even if advanced, cannot understand the Supreme Being, the personality of Godhead, for he is Ananta, unlimited in all six opulences.
Hari Bol. All six opulences తెలుసా Ansini Vranda?
Name, fame, wealth, renunciation, duty, knowledge.
Six opulences. Now,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
six opulences are in full. That is where the God definition is. What is that verse? Padma Purana verse, right? Aishwaryasya Bijasya Yashasya Shriya Jnanam Vairagyam Sanam Ittingana. So that is verse. So that's the definition of Supreme Lord. So he is all possessed in unlimited knowledge, fame, renunciation, beauty. So here what is saying, Daksha? Because they are only matter, the body, the life phase, external internal senses, five gross elements that complete the material creation, and how the living entities possess all these elements in the bodies. The subtle sense objects is form, taste, smell, sound, touch, cannot know their own nature. Because the nature of the other senses are the nature of their controllers. But the living being, because of his spiritual nature, can know his body. What is saying here? Cannot know their own nature. Who cannot know their nature? Because they are only matter. Matter is matter. Matter, inert matter. That's where Prabhupada, in one of the Bhagavad Gita sloka, inert matter. Unless, a living entity use that matter, it has no specific, significance or value. So if you see, because they are only matter, the body, the life force, the external internal senses, the five gross elements, and the subtle sense objects cannot know their own nature. The nature of the other senses are the nature of their own their controllers. But the living being, it talks about the matter, but there are all elements, right? 24 elements we talk, right? 23 plus one soul. 24 elements we talk. But unless the soul, the living entity, because of his spiritual nature, the soul basically, spiritual nature means the soul. Atma means that is spiritual entity, right? The living entity means it's a spiritual, not into coming into the material element category. Can know his body, the life airs, the senses. See, there is one verse, right? From Bhagavad Gita. Be beyond the senses, the mind is higher. Beyond the mind, the intelligence is higher. And beyond the intelligence, the soul is the higher thing. So the soul is the ultimate thing. The soul knows basically, that's where we are describing. But the living entity, because of his spiritual nature, can know his body, what kind of body I am having, the life airs, the senses, the elements, the sense objects, and he can also know the three qualities, three modes of material nature, basically, that form their roots. See, material world means Trigunatmakamaina material world only, the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. These three modes only. Whenever we talk about material world, three modes. Because Daivi Esha Gunamai, Mamamaya Duratyaya. So Daivi Esha Gunamai. There is one more verse is there actually. Mamcheva Bicharena, Bhakti Yoga Sagunan Samatitetan. So basically, those two verses talks about when we surrender to Krishna, we can go beyond the three modes. When we go beyond the three modes means we are acting or working on the spiritual platform. In the beginning stage, when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, basically Prabhupada says in some of the small books, what he is saying, when we start chanting, we are not acting on the material platform actually. Even though, of course, some inattentiveness less, but the potency is there, the spiritual value, significance, and then the ultimate thing when we perform chanting and hearing, all the activities directs to Supreme Lord, we are acting on the spiritual platform. So that is eternal. Then again, against to that, everything is material only, right? Again, acting in the modes of different modes, sometimes passion, most of the times passion, and always in ignorance. Very less time in goodness to perform activities. So it's a mixed, there is one chapter completely dedicated to how the modes of material nature works. Three modes of material nature. There is particular verse is there. Particular chapter is there. Nevertheless, all of the living being is completely aware of them. He is unable to see the Supreme Being, who is omniscient and is covered, right? Basically, the dust cover ayi undadam valla we cannot see what is super soul, who is super soul, who am I actually, because of the coverings in the form of material desires, sensual enjoyments. Who is omniscient is unlimited. They therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. He is a glorifying Supreme Lord. He is unlimited. He is omniscient. In the previous ones, we see he's a supreme person. He's the cause of everything. We know that verse. Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadira Adir, Sarva Karana Karanam. Yes. So we'll continue here. Okay. Okay. So now text 26. Anybody likes to read? Chetudar Paramajana. Yes, correct. Chetudar Paramajana is there, right? Chetudar Paramajana means the dust of enjoying propensity of materialistic way of life, and tries to rub through the chanting of the holy names. Yeah. Anybody? Hare Krishna, whoever not read, can you
I
please
will read, Prabhuji.
engage yourself in reading activity and be in the
Translation. Let's start, Prabhuji.
yeah, go ahead. Text
When one,
text 26. Okay. This section until which okay, 22, then 34. Yeah, until 34 this section is gonna done. We'll continue. Go ahead, Mataji.
when one's consciousness is completely purified of the 1 minute, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. Spets I forgot.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
please.
others read Prabhuji. I will read the next verse.
Okay. Anybody? Devotees? Whoever ready?
Can I
Whoever
continue?
not? Mahesh Prabhu, Lavanya. Inka evaru unnaru actually? Let me see. Let me ask. Rajesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Rajesh Prabhu.
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hari bol. You want to read? Please
Okay.
read, na? Please read.
Yeah. When one's consciousness is completely purified of the contamination of material existence. Sorry, like I'm not able to read it because coming
In the
in the middle.
phone, you
Gross
can
and
become screen.
yeah,
Basically, Prabhu,
gross and
Rajesh Prabhu, you need to move the screen in your phone so
yeah,
that you will be able to see. Okay.
yeah, okay. Yeah, when one's contamination is completely purified of the completely purified of contamination of material existence, gross and subtle, without being agitated as in the working and dreaming states. When the mind is not dissolved as in
Sushupti.
susupti, sushupti, deep sleep, one comes to the platform of trance. The one's material vision and the memories of the mind, which manifest names and forms, are vanquished. Only in such a trance, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead revealed. Thus, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seen in that uncontaminated transcendental state.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhuji. So that's where
Thank you.
another prayer from Daksha. So uncontaminated. See, our life now contaminated life because of material desires. So whereas Supreme Personality, it doesn't have. Is nirguna. There is no question of combination of material modes working to Supreme Lord. No, he is beyond Mama Maya Duratyaya. He only created this material nature with the three modes. It's very difficult to overcome for a living entity. Then, but there is a process is given. That is devotional service. So here is uncontaminated and transcendental state. Who? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. For that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am offer my respectful obeisances. When one's consciousness is completely purified of the contamination of material existence, gross, subtle, without being agitated as the working and dreaming state. There are different states there. Jagruti, Sushupti, Swapna, and Samadhi. 4 states there. For a living entity, the consciousness, Sushupti, Nidravastha, the Jagruti, Swapna, Sushupti, and Samadhi. Right? So, Sushupti, the deep sleep, one comes to the platform of trance, then one's mental vision, the mental and memories of the mind, which manifest names, forms, are vanquished. Complete absorption, complete, see, see how some devotees, they get nice devotional dreams because their consciousness, they always chant, they always do some services, they always engage in the devotional activities, Krishna consciousness. When they sleep also, that sleep also Krishnaized, that's where they get a nice, beautiful dreams, nice and beautiful dreams of Supreme Lord. Because their consciousness is developed that way, because they are continuously serving without any breaks or whatever, because they train their mind or tame their mind so that they get that nice dreams of Supreme. That is also Krishna consciousness actually again. So what is saying that then one's material vision and memories of the mind, which manifest names, forms, are vanquished. Only in such a trance is the Supreme Personality of God. See, all of these four states of our consciousness: Jagruti, Sushupti, Swapna, Sushupti, Swapna, and Samadhi. So when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, some devotees, completely absorption without any. That's where their rounds are quickly done. 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Taka fatafat అయిపోతా ఉంటాయి rounds. Because absorbing holy name. That is the sign of correct in trance or in samadhi. Not thinking any other things, just focusing on the holy name, hearing holy name attentively, and they make progress so nicely. I'm not there. I'm still struggling, Sadhaka. Okay, so let us read purport. Anybody? Quick
There are two stages of God realization. One is called Sujaniyam, or very easily understood, generally by mental speculation, and the other is called Durjaniyam, understood only with difficulty. Paramatma realization and Brahman realization are considered Sujaniyam, but realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Durjaniyam. As described here, one attains the ultimate realization of the personality of Godhead when gives up activities of the mind, thinking, feeling, and willing, or in other words, when mental speculation stops. This transcendental realization is above susupti, deep sleep. In our gross conditional stage, we perceive things through material experience and remembrance, and the subtle stage, we perceive the world in dreams. The process of vision also involves remembrance and also exists in a subtle form. Above gross experience and dream is Sushupti, deep sleep, and when one comes to the completely spiritual platform, transcendenting deep sleep, he attains trance, Visuddha Sattva, or Vasudeva Sattva, in which the personality of Godhead is revealed.
Continue, Mother. Finish this.
Okay. अतः श्रीकृष्ण नामादि न भावेद ग्रहण्यम इंद्रियः. As long as one is situated in duality on the sensual platform, gross or subtle realization of the original personality of Godhead is impossible. सेवोन्मुखे हि जिह्वदौ स्वयं एव spurtai adaha. But when one engages his senses in the service of the Lord, specifically when one engages the tongue in the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and tasting only Krishna prasada with a spirit of service, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is revealed. This is indicated in this verse by the word Suchi Sadmani. Suchi means purified. By the spirit of rendering service with one's senses, one's entire existence becomes Suchi Sadma. The platform uncontaminated purity. Daksha therefore offers his respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is revealed on the platform of Suchi Sadma. In this regard, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura quotes the following prayer by Lord Brahma from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.6. Tatapi bhumam mahima gunasya te vibodham arhate amalantar Atmabhiha, one whose heart has become completely purified, my Lord, can understand the transcendental qualities of your Lordship and can understand the greatness of your activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother. A beautiful purport. Srila Prabhupada is written here. So two stages of God realization. One is Sujneyam, and then other is Durjaneyam. So here specifically see Paramatma realization and Brahman realization are considered Sujneyam, but realization of the Supreme Personality of God is Durjaneyam. So which is the topmost? The ultimate Bhagavan realization is the topmost, right? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdyate. The Durjaneyam, as described here, one attains ultimate relation of personality of God when one gives up the activities of the mind. Mind activities are the thinking, the feeling, and willing. So actually, we cannot stop thinking, feeling, and willing of the mind, but we can replace those thoughts, we can replace those feelings, and we can replace those wantings by Krishna consciousness. It's possible. Yes, the same mind. See, we cannot avoid of this activity actually. The mind's activities are this thinking, feeling, and willing. But we can think about Krishna. We can do some nice services and uh, read pastimes. Use our brain. Use our mind in serving Krishna. Right? Thinking, feeling, and willing. What we want, what we feel. Feeling like I'm servant of Supreme Lord. I want to serve eternally. Develop that consciousness. So that is the what it is. And when another particular verse by Srila Prabhupada from Nectar of Devotion, Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavyed Indriya Nabhavyed Grahyam Indriya. Our Indriyas are so strong, especially our tongue. The tongue is so strong actually, the speaking propensity, the eating propensity, speaking and eating propensity. If we Krishnaized these two activities, eat only Krishna Prasadam and speak Krishna Katha, and not Prajalpa, Of course, we have to we are in the material world. We have to talk, we have to check our things, Are we talking the Prajalpa, Muchakla, Lepote Endi Katha? And we have to check. But we have to use our tongue and energy in Krishna's service, talk about Krishna Katha, share some good pastimes, or whatever Krishna conscious activities you are performing, how you are experiencing the bliss, or how you are doing all these activities like that. That helps. Not too much into prajalpa. Prajalpa is another stopper and a breaker of progressing in the path of bhakti. So that is the thing. And one verse from Bhagavatam mentioned here, Tatapi Bhuman Mahima Gunasya Te Vibodhim Arhati Amalantar Atmabhihi. So what happens? What is the meaning? Once whose heart has become completely purified, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, through the hearing and chanting, my Lord can understand the transcendental qualities of your Lordship and can understand the greatness of your activities. See, this is what our sign of progress when we are sitting in the Bhagavatam or when we are sitting in the class. And rapt attention we are continuously hearing means it's a wonderful sign of a progression. Yeah, because we got interest, we got the taste. Otherwise, 2 hours, 3 hours of sessions, Leela Prabhu. Normally, we see the beginning of 2008, 2000. He started year 2000, 2018, I think. No? So that's where we referred when we give SSR sessions. Minimum 3 hours of the sessions and very nicely presented because the attractiveness, because he got the taste. He presented like that, and that way he can able to sit. He can able to give the same presentation so the devotees can sit 3 hours, not 3 hours. 6 hours also can be able to sit. I'm not that kind of category. I'm still developing. So this is the thing. When we present nicely, when we give nice lecture, when we give based on Prabhupada purports, not any going or looking for different aspects from the Google or whatever, but we have to follow our parampara, what parampara has given to us. We just have to present nicely. Of course, Prabhupada has given so many analogies, each topic. In the Bhakti Shastra, we see, right? There is analogical based questions also there. Because through that, we understand the spiritual concept. So, see, unless we contaminate it, and unless purified, the Chetodarpana Marjanam, one whose heart has become completely purified, my Lord, they cannot understand the transcendental activities and the greatness of your activities. So how can we do that? How can we get that state completely purified? We are still in a contaminated state. Purified. How can we purify? By regularly associating with devotees. By joining my calls. Every morning we are conducting calls 7:30 to 9:15. So regular association is required. Unless how can we purify? Is possible when we have regular association. Of course, Zoom is there, Monday to Friday, working hours. Why don't we spend some time to come together and read and purify? See, purify. Prabhupada writes this particular word. Purify our existence by hearing and chanting regularly, by reading scriptures, by discussing these topics of the various spiritual things. So that's where it is. Here also, thus let us offer a respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Person who is seen that uncontaminated transcendental state. Krishna is the uncontaminated personality. When we associate more from our contaminated state to from our uncontaminated state, from our contaminated states to uncontaminated state, that means we become purified. Basically, we become purified when we see. This is the example given. Iron rod is there. Okay, iron rod put into fire. What happens to that iron rod? It acquires the qualities of fire. This was also Prabhupada given analogy. It acquires the qualities of a fire. If we touch the same iron wood after red hot, what happens? It acts like fire only. It burns, right? Similarly, now we are contaminated state, but Krishna is uncontaminated. When we associate more with Krishna, we become purified from contaminated to uncontaminated state. So in the spiritual world, there is no question of uncontaminated. There is no question of contaminated beings. Every living entity in the spiritual world completely purified of materialistic way of life. Basically, those 6 dear enemies, get rid of that. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Basically, that is the problem, right? Lust, anger, greed is the three gates to hell. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So 27 and 28. Let me read quickly. Translations, big translation is there. Just as great learned Brahmanas who are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices can extract the fire dormant within wooden fuel by chanting the 15 Samidheni mantras, thus proving the efficacy of the Vedic mantras. So those who are actually advanced in consciousness, in other words, those who are Krishna conscious, can find the super soul, who by his own spiritual energy, potency, is situated within the heart. The heart is covered by the three modes of material nature and the 9 material elements. Material nature, the total material energy, the ego, the mind, and the 5 objects of sense gratification. And also by the 5 material elements and the 10 senses. Those 27 elements constitute the external energy of the Lord. Great yogis meditate upon the Lord, who is situated as the super soul Paramatma within the core of the heart. May that super soul be pleased with me. The super soul is realized when one is eager for liberation from the unlimited varieties of material life. One actually attains such liberation when he engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and realizes the Lord because of his attitude of service. See, attitude of service, service attitude. Through service attitude only, we will develop love for Krishna and we will get rid of our contaminated state. Otherwise, how can Lord is going to help? The Lord may be addressed by various spiritual names which are inconceivable to the material senses. When will that Supreme Personality of Godhead be pleased with me? Some message is there. Yeah, Vishuddha Sattvam. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. How can we get that? Vishuddha Sattvam. Shuddha Sattvam, right? Pure goodness. Pure goodness, how can we achieve that? How can we get that pure goodness? When we perform the activities which are beyond the three modes, then only we will get that Vishuddha Sattvam or pure goodness. Okay. Shuddha Sattva is a pure goodness. Vishuddha Sattva is a contaminated state. That's what it is. Okay. So it's a very big purport. Very big purport. Let me just read some of the verses so Prabhupada quoted in this particular verse. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the word Durvijneyam, which means very difficult to realize. The pure stage of existence is described Bhagavad Gita 7.28. Eshantva antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam drudavrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, the next life, because they performed in previous life, the continuation. That means Neha Vikramana Ashwasti, they perform some good activity, the Krishna conscious activities in previous life. Now discontinued from there. Now discontinued because of the death. And the next life he got it, continue from this life. Who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. So only with the with that kind of personalities can be able to do the service with determination. The service, same, the sevan mukeha jivado. In other words, satatam yukirtayantomam, what they do, their activity always thinking about Krishna, never forgets. Yatantasya drudavrata, namasyantasya mam bhakti nitya yukta upasaya. Drudavrata. So two drudavrata verses, Prabhupada quoted, 728, 914. Fixed determination. Their determination fixed. Always chanting my glories, enduring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead after transcending all material impediments. Therefore, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 7.3. What he's saying is another beautiful verse. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschirmam veti tatvataha. Oh, see, Krishna consciousness, how many people are practicing in this material world right now? There are 700 billion. There are 7 billion people in this planet. 7 billion and 700 crores. 700 crores plus people are there, human beings. How many of practicing bhakti, real bhakti, properly situated? Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows in truth. Even though Krishna consciousness took up the devotees, many devotees coming into the ISKCON, but how many devotees are seriously practicing? not superficial thing, right? Krishna consciousness is a serious activity actually. How many people are doing, even though in ISKCON also? So our Manushyanam Sahasreshu. It's very rare actually. We got the wonderful benediction through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We got this, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. We are situating in the Parampara. We just have to benefit through this Parampara and purify ourselves and, ultimately in the service mood, develop our consciousness, and ultimately Krishna is going to take care. We don't need to worry about at the end of life what is going to happen. The entire life is a preparation, and death is an examination. That the examination, Krishna is definitely give 100 marks when we have 100% nice utilization of our senses in Krishna's service. To understand Krishna, Supreme Personality Godhead, how can we understand Krishna? Through bhakti only. That is also Prabhupada pointed out from Bhagavad Gita 1855. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Yavan yashchas chasmi tattvata. Tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tanatra. He was in ecstasy actually. Srila Prabhupada in ecstasy pointed out wonderful verses from Bhagavad Gita, in connection with this verse. The big verse, two verses, 27 and 28. See, bhaktyamam abhijanati. Through the bhakti only we will be able to understand Krishna. And again, in the continuation of this purport, what he's saying, thus, although the subject matter is dirvigneyam, extremely difficult to understand, it becomes easy. Of course, understand Krishna is very difficult through our material senses. How can you how long you can speculate with your mind and intelligence? There is a limitation. But what he's saying, becomes easy if one follows the prescribed method. Coming in touch with the Supreme Personality of God is possible through pure devotional service. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. That's where this verse pointed out here. Which begins Shravanam Kirtanam. That's where, same teachings. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shravanam Kirtanam. What is it? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. Satya Kabunai. Shravanadi Suni Cheva. Shravanam Kirtanam. Two aspects we have to develop. In this regard, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Pravishta Karnarandrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham. The process of hearing and chanting enters the core of the heart. And in this way, one becomes pure devotee. Touching the heart. Srila Prabhupada touched hearts of 10,000 people. Of course, touched. But, due to, material influence, some of the devotees, they left Srila Prabhupada, in the left ISKCON also. Even though Srila Prabhupada is given that benediction. But still, the nature, material nature, how acts on a person. Very difficult. And here, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, another verse. What is that mood of a devotee? How, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavampudo, Kripayadava Pada Pankaja, Sita Dhuli Sadrusham Vichintaya. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sikshastakam prayer. Vasana Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servant, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is saying this. How to develop, how we just have to develop the quality of humility. We always have to be ready to take up any position, menial position. Please pick me up from this portion of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus. Being pleased with me, with the devotee, the Lord turns all his material impediments into spiritual service. In this connection, again, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura quotes a verse from Vishnu Purana. Hladini Sandini Sambit Tayyeka Sarva Samstitau Klada Tapa Karimishra Tvaina Guna Varjite. Is another two paragraphs on the. In the material world, the spiritual energy of the Supreme Lord is manifested as a tapakari, which means causing miseries. Everyone hankers for happiness, but although happiness originally comes from the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of God. In the material world, because of material activities, the pleasure potency of the Lord becomes a source of miseries. Lada tapakari. And real happiness is only found in Supreme Lord, not in the material world. False happiness in the material world is a source of distress. Flickering temporary happiness, which cannot stay for long. But when one's endeavor for happiness are redirected towards satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the tapakari element of misery is vanquished. Now, how to get the real happiness? Real happiness to perform our spiritual activities that directs to Supreme Lord. And that is where we get the real happiness. And that is eternal, ever increasing. An example given in this connection is that extracting fire from wood is certainly difficult, but when the fire comes out, it burns the wood to ashes. In other words, experiencing the Supreme Personal God is extremely difficult for those devoid of devotional service. But everything becomes easier for a devotee, and thus he can very easily meet the Supreme Lord. The very easy method, lift process, or elevator process. Bhakti Yoga is the elevator process. Assume that 108 floor building is there, skyscraper building is there. For example, New York City is there. No, New York City having a skyscraper building. Srila Prabhupada started movement, especially chosen this particular place, New York City, because this city having so many cultures of people living in this particular tract of land. He has chosen especially this land. See, Bhakti Yoga is a elevator process. Assume that 108 floor we wanted to go. There are 108 steps also there and elevator also there. Bhakti Yoga is the elevator process. Directly we can switch on, open that wind door, enter into it. That's button of devotional service. It will take you and meet Supreme Lord by performing Bhakti Yoga. Here the prayers say that the form of the Lord is beyond the jurisdiction of the material form and is therefore inconceivable. A devotee prays, however, my dear Lord, be pleased with me, so that I may very easily see your transcendental form and potency. Non-devotees try to understand Supreme Brahman by discussion of neti neti, this and that, this and that. Nisheda nirvana sukhadu bhutihi. A devotee, however, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, avoids such laborious speculations and realizes the existence of the Lord very easily. We don't need to go under the different methods, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, difficult process, severe tapas, severe austerities. We just have to, that is the benediction, right? Kirtaniya, what is that? Kali Kalena Namarupa Krishna Avatara. Krishna appeared in the holy name, in the Kali Yuga as a holy name of the Lord. We just have to take up the standing of the holy names and purify ourselves. That is the easy. I mean, it becomes easy. I mean, as we start practitioners of the Bhakti Yoga, it's very difficult, to control the mind is very difficult. Even though process looks like easy, just chant the holy names of the Lord and serve. But chanting, when we start chanting, because of our contaminations, our mind drags us to not chant properly, because so many conditionings. That's the thing. Okay, 29. Another few words. Let me quickly finish it up. Translation. Purport I am not touching. Time constraint. So let us read at least, let me directly share this PDF so that we can, see, Bhagavatam is actually, it's a repeated readings and repeated value of a subject matter. Bhagavatam is not going to end in 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So why? Because these acharyas, they repeatedly read this grantha. What is that? There is one particular verse. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, right? Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. That is not the thing. That is not the verse. Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hrudayantastra Padrani Vidunoti Sulna. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. There is one program every day, Monday to Friday, Veda Reading Club. Please join. We are reading Bhagavatam, not only Bhagavatam. There is a beautiful scripture called Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is another wonderful life sketch of Srila Prabhupada. We are reading. Please utilize the time. Of course, morning hours are busy with kids, schools, offices. But if we try, if you want to try and associate, definitely Krishna makes the time is available for you. Definitely. Krishna makes that time available for you. If we have that sincere desire to attend, yes, let me spend time, let me read something in the morning hours, let me have good consciousness to start off my work, to start off my day. That's possible. Krishna is there. Krishna is definitely helps if we have sincere desire. Anyway, 23 to 35, this is the section we are there. Prabhupada is in ecstasy is written, those wonderful purports. Please go through it. Wherever you see big purport, Prabhupada pointed out wonderful verses from Bhagavad Gita and with different scriptures. 23 to 34, Amsa Guhya prayers by Daksha. That's where we are. And if you see the 28, right? Last slide, 28 to 30, Material forms do not arise from Lord Swarupa. 28, the reservoir of spiritual potencies. 29, beyond material faculties, unascertained by material sound, intelligence, senses, and mind, the cause of all causes, Supreme Brahman, Krishna. Same that Brahma Samhita also we have seen. Sarvakarana Karanam. 31, 32, statements of bhakti, jnana, statements of bhakti and the jnana scriptures are not contradictory. 31, possessor of unlimited divine qualities. 32, goal of both jnanis and bhaktas, possessor of transcendental names and forms. And 34, also realized in lower forms. This is another section. Mataji, Silpa Mataji, you give it to somebody next week. This is the section from, the Lord's instructions to Daksha. From here, Lord is going to, after he heard all the prayers of Daksha, Lord also giving instructions to Daksha. So those instructions are very beautiful. And next speaker, whoever there, give it to that Prabhu or Mataji. Okay, 35 to 54, Lord's instructions to Daksha. So I'm wrapping up here because of time constraint. Okay, so let us just read this last 1, 2, 3, 4 translations quickly, because at least rather than reading purports, at least have the translations and we can wrap up. 1, 2, 3, 4 verses. Okay, 31, 32, 33, and 34. Let me share. Okay. So please read, devotees. Let me ask devotees. Okasari tondaraga చదవండి devotees. Lavanya, please start this one. 29 also. ఒకసారి 34 వరకు చదువుదాము. 34 కాదు, 33, right? 23 to 34, yeah. 35 is another section. So 33 varaki, just let us read translation. We can wrap up. Please read this 29.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, read 29. And next, anybody, please lift your hand or be ready. Understand, please.
Translation and by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by the material senses or concocted within the material mind is but an effect of the modes of material nature, and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is beyond the creation of this material world and He is the source of material qualities and creation. He is the cause of all causes. He exists before the creation and after the creation. I wish to offer my I wish to offer my respectable obeisances unto him.
Very well. That is it. Now, whatever material thing, material senses concocted within the material mind is an effect of the modes of material nature. Problem with this material modes of nature. So mama maya duratya, maya in the form of 3 modes of material nature. Daiviyesha guna maya mama maya duratya, and mamcha yoga vichara and bhakti yoga. And when we take bhakti yoga, sagunan samadhitya and brahma bhuyaya kalpate, we can be situated beyond the 3 modes. The 3 modes also the 3 modes are the primary cause for this material world to run. Thank you. The next devotee is a big purport. Please read. Very big purport. 29 also. 29 also. Text 30. Please read translation. Anybody? Hare Krishna. It's 9 o'clock. I took a lot of time. Devotees, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Read Mataji.
Yeah, translation Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Brahman, Krishna, is the ultimate resting place and source of everything. Everything is done by him. Everything belongs to him. And everything is up to him. He is the ultimate objective. And whether acting or causing others to act, he is the ultimate doer. There are many causes, high and low. But since he is the cause of all causes, he is well known as the Supreme Brahman, who existed before all activities. He is one without a second and has no other cause. I therefore offer my respects unto him.
Yeah, similar, and prayers are all like this only. All the prayers directing to same goal and same concepts. There is no difference actually. We've seen many prayers, Prahlad Maharaj, Rudra Gita, Brahma Samhita prayers, Brahma Vimochana Leela prayers. Various prayers talks about these things only. Daksha also recited from, that's where it's not original composition. He's only referring various texts. That's where Prabhupada written. Text 31. Anybody? Another 4 translations. Let
Prabhuji.
us read. Mataji.
Translation. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto all pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities acting from within the cores of the hearts of all philosophers who propagate various views. He causes them to forget their own souls while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus, he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him.
That is the thing. Who propagate various views. The course of hearts, all philosophers, they forget their own souls. Krishna put them in, covering completely. They won't be able to come back. Then he creates within this middle world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. Conditioned souls. Why condition? Because of we are not able to understanding the supreme nature of the Supreme Personality of God, his nature, his qualities, activities, what he does. Won't be able to understand. How many people are taking, That's too much grossly condition means they won't see if we call for a spiritual program, they won't be able to turn up. They have their own business. How many of us see this kind of experience? Too much condition. Anyway, text 32, 31. We have read 31, no? Yes, no?
31 we read, Prabhuji. 32.
31, 32. 32, please read. Anybody? Hare Krishna. Hari bol, Hari bol.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma.
There are
30.
There are two parties, namely the theist and atheist. The theist who accepts the super soul finds the spiritual cause through mystic yoga. The Sankhyathi, however, who merely analyzes the material elements, comes to a conclusion of impersonalism and does not accept a supreme cause, whether Bhagavan, Paramatma, or even Brahman. Instead, he is preoccupied with the superfluous external activities of material nature. Ultimately, however, both parties demonstrate the absolute truth because although they offer opposing statements, their object is the same ultimate cause. They are both approaching the same Supreme Brahman to whom I offer my respectful obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Two parties, theists and atheists. Their life like that only. Atheist is always atheist. Theist is devotees. Yeah. Continue. Okay, 33. Please read last 2 verses. Read translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll read it.
Read, bro.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is inconceivably opulent, who is devoid of all material names, forms, and pastimes, and who is all pervading, is especially merciful to the devotees who worship his lotus feet. Thus, he exhibits transcendental forms and names with his different pastimes. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose form is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss, be merciful to me.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Any last one? Please read. Text 34. Hansini or Vrunda is there?
No,
Hare
I'll
Krishna.
read. I'll read.
Go ahead.
As the air carries various characteristics of the physical elements, like the aroma of a flower or colors resulting from a mixture of dust in the air, the Lord appears through lower systems of worship according to one's desires, although he appears as the demigods and not in his original form. What is the use of any other forms? May the original Supreme Personality of Godhead please fulfill my desires.
Very good. So this is the section done with the 34th verse. These are various prayers offered to Supreme Lord by Daksha. So next is section from 35 until end of the chapter 54. Supreme Lord gives instructions to Daksha. So one last point I want to share, and then we can wrap up. Thank you so much, Mother, for 9-10 outundi. But still, spiritual topics are like that. I'm not always. I need to change myself. I'm not time category. అది పోతూనే ఉంటుంది. So one point I want to share here. Note point. Okay. 34, right? Okay. Okay. I'm just checking here one. Okay. Oh, I don't know how able to see. Actually, I didn't go through it directly. This is another detail. Actually, these are the slides from them, the Prabhu, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. But actually, Subodhini guidebook, there was some things mentioned, the possessor of the transcendental names and forms, to show mercy towards those who worship his lotus feet. The unlimited Lord who has no uh, no matter, is it correct? No, 1 second. The unlimited Lord who has no ఏం వేసింది చూడు బుక్ లో లావనే. I want to see Anama Rupo Bhagavan Ananta. The unlimited Lord who has no matters. ఏది బుక్ లో చూడు, names and forms. 33, text 33.
It looks like no material names and forms, Prabhu.
Material, he has no
ఇక్కడ
33 verse చూడు ఒకసారి. లాస్ట్ వర్స్, లాస్ట్ లాస్ట్ వర్స్ లా ద అన్లిమిటెడ్ లార్డ్ హూ హెస్ నో, ఏంటది మాత్రనా ఏంటది?
forms.
Huh?
No material names and forms.
Okay. The unlimited Lord who has no, that's where everything is spiritual only, right? That's where, whatever Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is spiritual only. How can we understand? Krishna lived in this, material world during the Dwapara Yuga, 125 years old, but he looks like 16 years old boy. How is it possible? But that's why he's a spiritual. Namani Rupani Janma Karma Vir Bhajesa Maham Parama Prasidatu. Exhibits transcendental names and forms with his different appearances and pastimes. May he be pleased with me. This is another prayer. This, as I hear, we just read 34. Okay, one point is the unlimited nature of Supreme Lord, and is completely spiritual. There is no question of material. So that's what. Okay, Daksha prayers are, all the purports is the big purports. Due to time constraints, I haven't gone through it. Very sorry. Please read if you are able to. Or Mataji, it's up to you. Next week also somebody refer those verses is better. I feel that Prabhupada written in ecstasy all the wonderful big purports. Those last from 27, 28, 29 until 5-6 verses, he has given big purports. So I have missed it, but anyway, it's personal reading. We can put it anyway. If next speaker is wanted to go through those purports, is a choice. So it's up to them. So thank you so much. Anyway, I took a lot of time. 13 minutes more plus 30 plus 45 minutes more extra. Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai Gaura Hari Premanande Hari Hari Bol. నాకు కూడా బాగా లేట్ అయిపోతుంది మాతాజీ, చెప్పండి. ఎనీబడి హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆర్ వాంటెడ్ టు షేర్? Devotees, please tell me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandapram. Prabhuji, this when God that Daksha got that goat's head, right? After that, he created this living entities and demigods also.
That is another story, Prabhu. That after that he disappeared and he got another birth in the form of here, Pracheta's son.
But in the purport he mentioned, they are written there. He created demigods and all these living entities.
Yeah,
Demigods?
Yes. Yeah. That Daksha only again reappeared, Prabhu. Okay, that Daksha
but which
already.
Demigods, Prabhuji?
All the demigods.
But demigods is already created, right?
Of course, demigods, everything is created by Supreme Lord only, but through the agency of the Daksha. Okay, everything created by Krishna only, but see, sun planet, We say Surya Bhagavan, moon planet. Huh? When we talk about these various personalities, creation, these aspects, origination, Krishna, of course, by glance only everything created, but through the agents, specific creations taken place. See, Krishna's glance, by looking at his glance, everything taken place. That glance also in the form of Daksha, through the Daksha, different forms. But ultimately, the original creator of everything, is by Krishna himself. Right? Krishna only created demigods, but through here the agency, through the progenation or procreation with Daksha, uh, it has coming into existence with him.
So,
That's where in our
yeah, Prabhu, so
Bhagavatam.
it means before that there is no demigods.
Before means,
See, Daksha,
see,
this
this is the creation. I mean,
when
again,
it happened. I
when
just want
means
to understand this one, demigods, this type of demigods, because demigods was already there when they killed that Daksha, right? At that time, demigods also they was watching all this one, and most of demigods were there at that time. But again, so maybe my understanding is wrong. So it means the demigod created after that, or it was, see, maybe manifested, unmanifested earlier also, but manifested happened after this incident, all the demigods, or
that's where in the Bhagavatam this verse is saying, right, Prabhu? There also is there. Yeah, some of course, if you feel that contradictory, but in this verse, as per the verse, Prabhupada translated, these demigods are appeared through, Daksha, he created all the other living entities, demigods, demons, right?
yeah, that's why, na, Jala, Thala, Sthala, everything he created.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, some statements it looks like contradictory, bro. How can it happen? There also, and how he is gonna create again demigods? That way you can feel that, but you know, I mean, this is what we are going through these pastimes. This is what the verse says. That is a different timeline, bro. I mean, so if you see, that is a different timeline. It was not completely creation, not taken place, not created, and now here onwards again to continuation with that, the various living entities, demigods, demons, no taken
No,
place
demigod,
now.
demons, we understand that one, but as sorry, demons or some other living entities we can understand. But then
Mm,
in the verse is mentioned demigods also. That's a little bit. Why I'm asking Prabhuji, if we discuss with the other ones, right? Then this contradictory will come
mm.
in, among the devotees himself. This one. So I just want to understand which maybe we have 33 crores Devi
Demigods,
Devta,
yes.
right?
Mm.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Mataji.
you want to
Yeah.
add? Yeah, add.
Yes,
If you know
just
anything.
I want to add. Actually, Prabhuji, demigods are like many, right? 33 crores are demigods, right? So
Yes.
in the beginning of the creation, Lord Krishna only created, Prabhuji, some of the demigods, which are like sense demigods. We say, right, like predominant deities of senses, like seeing senses, one demigod like sun and moon or Agni. Some of the demigods, they were created by Lord Krishna only directly, but later, like most of the demigods are created by all these Prajapatis and this one Prabhuji. So there are a lot of
Apart from,
demigods. Yeah.
apart from, apart from
Main,
these material elements, demigods, huh? That's what you are trying to say,
yes,
bro.
yes.
Sun god, fire god, moon god,
No,
different.
no, sun god, fire god, maybe is earlier, Prabhuji.
Ashwini
Yeah,
Kumara, that's what Prabhuji. First, they have come from the Lord Krishna. That in the Vishwarupa we have seen, right? All the demigods, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Krishna is the original source of that demigods, Prabhuji. But later, there are different demigods who comes from this Prajapatis. Like,
yeah, 33
Okay,
crores.
Mataji. Yeah,
33
Prabhuji,
crores.
this one I will
Find out.
yeah.
We will
So
let you
which
know.
living entity he created and which of the other things are right. So there's human being, demons. This actually, if you just find something in specific Prabhuji, then please let me know, huh?
I will
There
find
is
out.
no such specific creation, Prabhuji. There is no such specific species. What is the created? Okay, in this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Mataji. I understood that
What
one.
he
Yeah,
created. I mean, come in, see,
But
demigod.
Prabhuji, you know, right? Secondary creation has to take place from Brahma, right? So everything was taking place according to his instruction. Because that's what Prajapati Daksha was, his expert, right? So he knows how to create and procreate.
So Brahma, yeah, secondary created being is Brahma. Through Brahma only, it is everything coming into the Bhagavatam trees, right? If we see, uh, from him only everything taken place. Of course, Krishna is the original creator, but he is giving an agency through Brahma, Brahma through different, Swayambhuva Manu, different, Swayambhuva Manu having 8 daughters for procreation, like that continuation. Yeah, the original demigods, as come from him only, Supreme Lord. I mean, these material elements mean each material element having a predominating deity. That predominating deity is the demigod only, no? That means we can understand that the material elements run by those demigods existed and created by Supreme Lord only, but through the agency. I mean, there is a one different topic is there, Prabhuji. I mean, Pradhana, what is that? Ahankara, 3 modes coming into
Mahatattva.
play. Mahatattva,
Mahatattva.
like that. There is some concepts there in, I think, third canto
Third
of Srimad
canto. Yeah, third canto.
Third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam
Creation.
is there. From there, we can understand something. So, but let us see. Of course, some points are like contradictory, Prabhuji. We can check with some seniors. I'll find out. But definitely, I'll ask Gauranga Darshan Prabhu what he's going to say. Okay, I'll come back to you.
Can you
I'll
please
come back.
clear the first slide, Prabhuji, that Bhagavatam tree that you mentioned?
Madai?
The tree, the Bhagavatam stories tree you have mentioned. Can you share?
Yeah, I will share. Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll share.
The hierarchy is
I
there.
mean, see, yeah. Is there? Yes, Mataji. I will share. And yeah, I mean, see, our tiny material material brain won't understand sometimes. There is, of course, we have to clarify. I mean, if there's somebody having better answer, or somebody already gone through this question, why we won't learn? We can learn from them. I will get that information, Prabhu. I will ask that question in next class. Okay, and get the clarification. Definitely, very good point. And for me also, I wanted to ask and learn from him, and I will share it with you as soon as I have something from him. Okay, next class I will ask definitely. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So these are the various creation, various personalities coming into play. ఇదంతా ఉంది కదా. So బ్రహ్మన్ ఉండే కదా ఇదంతా procreation story ఇదంతా. ఎట్లా వచ్చి వీళ్ళందరూ ఫస్ట్ త్రూ బ్రహ్మ నుంచే కదా. But originally Krishna is the right source of everything. So these are the personalities there.
The owner is Krishna, and these are demigods are all called managers.
Yes.
Owner is Krishna.
Yes. Owner is Krishna. Others are
Every other,
different
including Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, are all managers.
managers. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. To satisfy you, yes, I am okay. I am telling okay, yeah. But original director and the everything chairman, director or founder, we can say Krishna is everything. Haribol. Thank you, Mata. Thank you so much. Yeah, 9:23. Too much. 1 hour ఎక్కువ తీసుకున్నాం. వాంఛాకల్పతరుభ్యశ్చ కృపా సింధుభైవ చ పతితానం పావనేభ్యో వైష్ణవేభ్యో నమః. ఆనంద కోటి వైష్ణవ की जय. जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. प्रवीण प्रभु, पूजा माता जी, महेश प्रभु, लावण्य, हंसिनी वृंदा, मधुसूदन प्रभु, ब्रह्मानंद माता जी, माधवी माता जी, राजेश प्रभु, सपन प्रभु, मुरलीधर प्रभु, Lilananda प्रभु joined and left. Who else there? And somebody joined. Okay, all of you, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, Shilpa Mataji. it's in as a service. I mean,
Hari bol.
I couldn't
Hare
properly.
Hari bol. Hari bol.
It's a very big chapter on the purport actually.
No
But
problem.
anyway, it's okay. Hari bol. Thank you so much. Hari bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sarvam
Hari.
Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Hari bol. Yes, Prabhu. Muralidhar Prabhu ki jai. Nice. Sarvam Krishna Pramastu. Thank you.